Hi everyone, this is Mary from Crystalline Dimensions. So we're just going to do first impression video of this deck I got. It took a really long time to get here from the UK, so I'm really excited about this. I took this, had a plastic covering over it, and then this was over it, but it's a little bit hard to get this off, so I'm glad that I did that before I started the video because I was a little impatient and wanted to see what was inside. Cute little symbol over there. So the book is pretty big. It goes over each card like a regular deck would. I haven't really looked at it. So that's nice. It has all the numbers for you. And it looks like there is a short introduction and how to work with the deck. Pretty standard. Just out of curiosity. I actually got that. If you want to get a free one card, I believe they make you pick out 3, or maybe they only give you the definition of 1 or something like that online from, I believe it's from the second one, but I'm not exactly sure. If you look online, you can do an online pull. So it is this really nice box. It's the back. Whoop. I forgot about this. I did this thinking I was being clever. So when you open the box, there is this thread here, this ribbon. I'm not sure why exactly, honestly. And there's the same ribbon in this box, I guess just to sort of make it look cool. I don't know what I did that for. So let's see if I can. I'm really getting your money's worth and a laugh out of this video. Alright, so the deck is out. So, let's try not to drop them. Okay, so when you first open it, they have this little guy over the top, which I guess, don't do what I did and put that inside the box, because that would be crazy. You can loosely have that over the top of the box. So this is going to be the top half, and that's the bottom half, and I guess again you can put the cards in like that and it sort of just doesn't really do anything, but I guess it sort of holds in place. It just looks fancy. Okay. So my first impression, there was actually this little piece, there wasn't plastic over these, but there was like this little piece of paper that it sort of was like a ribbon's length. I was really kind of disappointed because one of the cards, I don't know if you could sort of see that, got a little, right there, a little bent. It's really hard to tell, but I'm like kind of a perfectionist. You really can't tell, but you can sort of see it there. So this is the back of the cards. I believe there's 64. Yep, there's 64 cards. I read that one. That was really good, actually. So they're pretty slippery. I'm not going to shuffle them right away. Some animal noise outside is distracting me. So I figured we would just go over the cards because I've seen them once before from a friend, but they are really pretty. And they all have circles. Let's see if I can get this to go down so we can put the cards on top of this. There we go. So also just a fun thing to mention, I've been thinking about getting tarot cards in the shop. We normally have crystals, a few crystals are out here. But there's some decks that are a little bit harder to get, especially when they're from the UK. One of them in particular is the Dark Goddess Oracle deck. And I'm wondering if anyone else is interested. I'm thinking about maybe ordering those and maybe a few other decks. So if you have a favorite deck that's relatively new that you think people would like to enjoy, I'd love to hear what they are in the comments. And if you are in the US and would be interested in those Dark Goddess Oracle cards, I'd love to hear that as well, because I'm thinking about it, but I'm not quite sure if it's something we want to get into right away. This is the first time I'm going through the deck, so I'm going kind of slow. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that. And I will pull 3 cards at the end, and we'll see what those are, and we'll have Billy read from the book just because it's a little easier that way. That one's really beautiful. So obviously some of these kind of have groupings that they go with. It's like the underworld. I'm curious if, I'm sure they must have them the middle and upper. I don't even know. I haven't been reading them as much as just looking at the pictures so far. Be nice to maybe see the medicine wheel within the 4 animals. So if you don't know, in Munaki, which is what Alberto works with, we have the hummingbird to the north. The east is eagle or condor. And then the south is going to be snake, and then jaguar to the west. So here's the middle world. I like the choice of red with the moon. That moon cycle in there. It's gorgeous. I don't know if you can hear Billy's oohs and ahs in the background. It's a little bit of special effects for you guys. Looks like a little slice of orange up there. Serpent. Smoky arrow. It's rather lovely. Butterflies keep coming up a lot here. I don't know if you guys watch Face Off, but we were just watching it last night, and there was what I can't remember the names. I don't want to say it wrong. Do you remember what it was called?
The Dryads.
The Dryads. This reminds me of the Dryads really badly. Tree spirits. And there's Upper World. To take those three out eventually. And I like the consistency of these cards. They're a little... I was expecting them to be a little thicker, I think. But other than that, they're pretty nice. I feel like you could... I would not get these wet, though, especially since they're not gilded on the edges. It makes me feel like they're not quite... Not that I try to get any of my decks wet, but... Some of them I think can withstand it a little better than others. These feel kind of papery. And the Witness, it's all about stillness. So I kind of did the cards kind of funny because I realized I was trying to move a little faster. So I'm just going to put them back in order before I shuffle, which really doesn't make a difference, I guess. I'm still very curious if the ribbons are just decorative. They must be. I can't imagine how they would really hold the cards in there. Billy, would you hold the... So I can shuffle real quick. That's good. Let's see how easy they are to shuffle. Normally I shuffle just until a card kind of flies out. And these guys, we might have to do something a little different if we don't get a response from them. We're kind of near the pool too, and I really don't want to get them wet, though they don't normally fly that far. I was about to say, if that card doesn't pop down soon, I'm gonna grab them. I was like, nope. So these cards are not very slippery. I guess I'm used to working with more slippery cards. The next one that kind of sticks up, I think we're gonna grab. Oh, there we go.
Woo.
Now they're probably going to be too... I'm glad that we got the witness because I really like that one. Of course, they are next to each other right now because... I don't want to read that. We read this one once before, but maybe we'll read every one. What I'll do is I'll see if one or two more falls out, and then we'll pick one at random to omit. If you're really curious, let us know in the comments, and maybe we'll do another video for it. No, that's way too many. Smoky mirror, wow, all the ones that I was curious about. So just for, I don't know, not even fairness, but just because I was planning on doing 3 cards, but 2 are kind of stuck together. They still are stuck together. Okay. Alright, give me 3 numbers, babe.
3 numbers?
Yeah, from 1 to 4.
3, 1, 4.
Okay. So if you want to, I knew it. If you want to hear about the curse, which actually I've read, it's not a spooky card, which I don't really like spooky cards in my deck. Normally I will put like a little bit of a spin on them, not necessarily to make them, well, to make them positive in a certain way, but in a way that it doesn't have a negative connotation. I don't like not negative connotations in my deck. It's just a personal preference. But I actually have read that one. It's not spooky. I've read a few of them before we decided to get this one.
What do you want me to start with?
The Witness. It's gonna be like one of the last pages because it's 64. Excuse me.
Okay. The Witness. The Essence. The witness observes without engaging in any action. By cultivating inner stillness, we are able to assess any situation from a higher perspective and make better decisions. When we can be present for someone else's difficulties with stillness, then we are able to truly hear them and give better advice. Sometimes we can be so still that we are a mirror for the other. Then, through our presence, they receive their own answers. The Invitation. The witness that has been by your side all along is now ready to become your ally. You thought you were the doer, the doer, but today you discover that things happen when you get out of the way. Witness creation unfolding before you. Changing reality by finding stillness and letting your true intent reveal itself. The Medicine. Acknowledge your preconceptions, ideas, and feelings about the situation you are in, but resist the urge to change any of it. Do not fall back into your controlling patterns. Instead, take a few breaths and connect with the joy of not having to perform. Hold space for the world to keep spinning on its own. And that is the Witness.
Do you have enough light, babe?
Hmm?
Okay, so then we got 47, the Smoky Mirror.
Alright. The Smoky Mirror. The Essence. The smoky mirror represents the aspects of what is implied yet cannot be immediately known in the world, the mystery of how things come together and how they fall apart without obvious causality. This symbol also represents the shadow of the human psyche, the parts of the self that one disowns. The smoky mirror can also represent a state of denial or the inability or refusal to see the truth. The Invitation. When the symbol of the smoky mirror appears, you're invited to see beyond your own self. Acknowledge that, past the limits of your current ability to perceive, there is a vast interconnected world where events are orchestrated in divine order, but challenging to fully grasp. Now is the time to trust that no matter what the current condition of your world reflect, in the hidden realms, all aspects of the human journey are celebrated, the beauty and the darkness, the misery and the courage. No matter where you are on your journey, know that some things are meant to be a mystery, which you are meant to understand only through experience. Take heart, for the smoky mirror will ultimately show you beauty and wonder once the fog lifts the distortion you see now. The medicine. Understanding the shadow of the human journey requires that you go deep into your story to discover the wound that prevents you from seeing the truth of your current situation. Your fears and expectations of disappointment and unworthiness may be clouding your capacity to see the potential in yourself and others. The smoky mirror may be showing you things you don't want as a result of your conditioning. These can become even more real, but only because you are making it so. The choice is yours. The world will hold you accountable for what you see and create. Can you see through the eyes of truth and faith instead? That was the smoky mirror.
Sorry. Okay, I'm moving. Next one is 63.
Ah, yes. Wind. The essence. The symbol of the wind represents the element of air. It rules communication, thought, song, and inspired ideas. It also signifies change, with qualities both positive and negative. The wind blows from each of the four directions, and there are different qualities bestowed by each. South. Carrying a new sense of trust, helping you gently begin to discard habits and parts of you that are no longer needed. The West. Calling you to more introspection, to a willingness to make final decisions, to let go of attachment and ego desires. The North. Moving to bring you wisdom and strength. And the East. Carrying clarity of vision and purpose. Whichever way the wind is blowing for you, the message which the wind whispers or shouts is a challenge. It may take courage at first to turn and face the wind, but you will find exaltation in moving toward it and receiving in lessons. The invitation. When the spirit of the wind comes calling, it's a sign of change. Perhaps you need to change your mind about something. Perhaps an old way of doing things has become automatic, and now that you've gained greater clarity, you can make a new choice. Regardless of what the change is, you can expect to be understood and to have clear communication with others at this time. Ideas are solid, and the shift that is being called for is in the highest good of all. The medicine. When wind comes as medicine, you're being invited to recognize the value of chaos. Windstorms provide necessary chaos to clear the air and spread seeds so plants and trees can take root in new fields. Right now it may seem as if your world has been turned upside down, but this is a temporary storm that will blow over. Perhaps communication has broken down between you and another, or your many to-do lists are overwhelming you. The medicine is to simplify, slow down, course correct if you need to, and wait out the storm to clear things up. Just know that all storms have great value if you can remain neutral during their course. Greater clarity and good things will come from it all. Remember, this too shall pass.
Wow, so those worked really nicely together. I imagine that the deck will continue to show that. We'll see what happens. If you guys are interested in me doing this for other decks that I have that aren't necessarily have been here for a while, or if you have a deck in mind, I'd love to start doing reviews like this more often, as well as showing off the crystals and stuff like that. So Give us a shout out if you want, and we'll see you soon. Love you guys from Crystalline Dimensions. Take care.